Welcome to letter 26. This letter is primarily about unselfishness. So the main kind of setting for this letter is that the patient and his girlfriend are courting. So courtship is a little bit different than dating. You would go on a date with really anyone to just kind of hang out, have fun. You can go on a date with someone, like a friend of yours. But courtship is when you're more intentionally discerning marriage, right? So I could date someone without really, thinking that it's going to end in marriage. You shouldn't, but that would be like a more appropriate use for the word date, whereas courtship means that they are discerning marriage together. So Screwtape is advising Wormwood on how to sow the seeds of discord between this patient and the girl he's courting that won't come up now, but will come up later, assuming that they will get married. Then there will be issues in their relationship. So kind of a long-term strategy. So Screwtape wants the couple to think that their quote-unquote love has solved all of their problems and everything is sunshine and roses, when really it's only postponed them. We have love in quotation marks here because, again, it's more of that feeling of love. So there's kind of a distinction in this letter between the feelings and love as an action. He talks about really bouncy, how the demons have made regular use of the word unselfishness as the negative connotation of the word charity. So this chapter really is about charity. It's about different types of love, but Screwtape credits unselfishness to the work of the philological, that just means the study of words, arm of the demon, of hell. So he's claiming that this word unselfish is popular because of the demons. Now, I wouldn't say it's a word that we use very much in our society. I think we would use the word charity more than unselfishness, but perhaps it was big in England on the time when C.S. Lewis wrote. So how do they use unselfishness to ruin relationships? So the demons try to teach men to think that unselfishness means giving up your own way to others, that they might be thought to be unselfish. Let's just say thought and not though. So if I'm unselfish or charitable, I should give up my way to others because I want to make them happy. That would be the right way that we would be unselfish or charitable. But the demons want to twist that and want to make people just be kind of like pride. I want people to think that I'm unselfish, think that I'm charitable, so that's why I'm going to give up my way to others. They also talk about how there's a difference in how men and women perceive unselfishness. They say that a woman means, by unselfishness or by charity, means taking trouble for others. So taking trouble upon herself for the sake of others. This might mean like in serving others, or I really like to bake, and one of the things like I do to love my friends or family is I'll like wake up early or work really hard on something to like bake these goods for someone else. So that would be like an example of me taking trouble on myself for the sake of others. A man means not giving trouble to others. So normally when men think of like being charitable or unselfish, they don't want to be a nuisance to other people. They want to kind of keep to themselves and not interfere in someone as a way of being unselfish, or being charitable to them is giving them that space. So obviously you can see here that this means two different things, and the demons want to pervert this, right? So thus, while the woman thinks of doing good offices and the man of respecting other people's rights, each sex, so the man and woman, without any obvious unreason, can and does regard the other as radically selfish. So if I'm here doing good things and, Mr. West isn't, that he's like respecting my rights or my space, then I might think that he's being selfish because he's not serving. And if I'm like butting into other people's, business, then Mr. West might think that I'm being selfish instead of serving. So they're trying to create this issue and this turmoil where there doesn't necessarily need to be any. And then there's a few more confusions he goes through. So Screwtape says, so their current enchantment produces a mutual complacence in which each is really pleased to give in to the wishes of the other. So when you're happy and you're excited and, he's just so cute and she's just so nice or whatever, that you're willing to do what the other person wants. That's your motivation to do it. However, so that's the first thing, that you want to do it. God does demand charity, so you think, oh great, I'm doing what God wants me to do. I'm giving into the wishes of the other. However, if you don't recognize, like, why am I doing this? That's when it gets you're not doing the virtue, you're not acting in charity according to the virtue of charity, but you're acting based on your feelings. Because I like you right now, I will go and get you a glass of water. Not because I actually have charity and I'm willing to do it, even if I don't have the feelings. So the way that the demons exploit this is they want the couple, so in this case the patient and his girlfriend, the lady he's courting, to establish as law the same degree of self-sacrifice for their whole married life based on those enchantments alone, right? So that like for our entire marriage, you need to be as self-sacrificing as you are right now in this period where I want to serve you because I feel like it. And we know, as we've talked about before, their whole married life, they won't always have those feelings of enchantment. And then when they're gone, if they have that standard, then it's going to, again, move into like just turmoil and, they're going to be upset with each other when they will eventually fail because, again, those feelings aren't always there. The other thing he talks about is like how in discussing any action, we should be unselfish by actually arguing for what the other person wants. So I'm going to go ahead and just give an example of this because he says, that A should argue in favor of B's supposed wishes. So to just make it more clear, let's say that Mr. West and I, it's the weekend and we're trying to figure out what we're going to do. And I think that he wants to go to the park and play disc golf, which he probably does. So I argue for that, but that's not really what I want to do. But so I'm thinking that I'm being unselfish because I'm arguing for what he wants. Meanwhile, he says, no, we should, have a picnic because that's what you want to do, which is probably what I would want to do, but let's just say it wasn't. So we're both arguing for what we think the other person wants, which first of all is going to, create some tension. And then let's say that we do decide on having a picnic and it's not what I want, but he thinks that he was being unselfish and charitable and giving into my wishes when it wasn't what I wanted. We're both going to end up being upset at each other. So he's saying here the antidote is just say what you want, like be honest and have like a real conversation. Just be clear. And that doesn't make you a selfish person. It actually will like relieve tension and whatnot. So again, he calls it the generous conflict illusion, where I think I'm being generous to him and he thinks he's being generous to me. And in the end, we've created a conflict. And so like there's an illusion for it. He goes into how this happens with families too, with grown-up children that, if we each are arguing for what we think the other person wants to outdo each other in unselfishness, it actually creates problems.